Hey everyone, it is Havo High here bringing you another video on Dragon Ball Z, well, sorta Dokkan Battle. I'm actually doing this video on my favorite character of Dragon Ball in the Dragon Ball universe, and that is the Prince of all Saiyans, Vegeta. If you guys are Vegeta fans, hey, smash that like button, continue to watch this video here. This is going to be a four-part series. I'm going to be doing the history of Vegeta using Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle cards, and along with other things, clips and stuff like that Dokkan Battle doesn't have. And the interesting thing about going through this is I'm going to put it in chronological order, or try to at least, and it's harder than you actually would think. I found that Dokkan Battle made some mistakes, and then they're also missing some cards that would be fantastic for them to maybe come out with in the future. So let's get to it here. Like I mentioned before, it is a four-part series, and we're gonna have fun here. And follow me and subscribe, and follow me on Twitch if you're not a follower on Twitch, which I normally stream live there, and you can do that on the link below. So let's kind of start off with these Dokkan Battle cards. If you're not familiar with Dokkan, it is my favorite game. It is a mobile app game, and we'll start here with the history of Vegeta, starting kind of a precursor to the sagas, because we're going to start with Kid Vegeta. Now, Kid Vegeta, we only know so much about his history through some specials and some flashbacks. And Kid Vegeta is the son of King Vegeta, and he's considered the Prince of Saiyans. And as you can see here in the Dokkan art on the one to the left, he has the Super Saiyan Elite symbol on his chest. And he Dokkan Awakens into this other card. If you're not familiar with Dokkan Awakening just means that the card goes from one art to another art. And so these are the two cards that actually represents one card that you get, or one character that you get from the game. So here is, like I said, here's where we start. It's not really, we're not going to spend too much time on Kid Vegeta, because there's another card here. But we do know he is one of the few survivors of the Saiyan race. And Frieza, of course, destroying planet Vegeta, killing his father and his home world, and him kind of not really knowing about it. We find out later he does know about it, and plans his revenge. But he actually joins the Frieza army, and then most of his years and what we're introduced to at the time is a part of Frieza's army. So we're really, this is, like I said, kind of a precursor to when we're really introduced to Vegeta, and that is in Dragon Ball Z, the Saiyan Saga. Probably one of my favorite sagas of Dragon Ball Z. It's really tough to choose, but this one, because it's Vegeta heavy, is my favorite. So we're introduced to Vegeta, and we're going to start off with this Dokkan card here, and a little bit of art here, and a little bio real quick from Dragon Ball Wiki. Now, not all wikis are 100% accurate, but some interesting things we found out going through this here. And his date of birth is 732, and it talks about each instance of death. So we'll actually talk about each instance in a little bit more detail, but we'll go over it real quick. Right before Christmas, December 24th, 762, he dies actually at the hands of Frieza in the Frieza saga, but then he's revived on May 7th, 774. That's when he dies trying to kill Majin Buu. We'll talk, like I said, a little bit more about that, and he's going to be 42 years old. So the one previously 30 years old, 42 years old, and then when the most recent time he died, he's 47 years old in Resurrection F. So the funny thing is, on the date of death is this around 801 to 889. That means that he's either dead from age 69 to 157. So that's a huge gap there. Hopefully he dies closer to 157, so we have more of my favorite character, Vegeta. So he's 5'5", 123, which seems kind of light for this big muscular guy on there. I bet you he's a little bit heavier when he turns into Super Vegeta. But his address, WST333-8926K, that is Bulma's address. And occupation, formerly Prince of Vegeta, High Class Warrior, or Super Saiyan Elite, however you want to say it. So this is kind of how we're introduced to him here. But how we're really introduced to Vegeta is actually an error. And some miscommunication of Toriyama and the animators and the color palette of of what Vegeta actually looks like. So the card to the left, the Dokkan card there, the art is, I think, pretty cool, pretty nice, and it represents the introduction of Vegeta with Nappa, as you can see right there. But you can see the color difference in Vegeta, and yes, that's how he was introduced, with a orange armor and red hair. So of course it is then changed. So at this point in time in the story, they're actually been contacted by Raditz when he passed away, when he died from the hands of Piccolo and Goku. And now Vegeta and Nappa are both coming to Earth to, in a sense, destroy it and to avenge Raditz. And they're really considered the strongest characters the Z Fighters and Earth has ever seen before. So this card, Dokkan, awakens into basically the same stance, but a little bit more of a modern look of Vegeta. And if we drew Vegeta today, that's kind of how he would look today. But we were introduced in the look of the left there. So really nice art to Dokkan awaken him into, similar, the same stance, but similar in basically the look there, but more of a modern look there. So of course Vegeta then arrives, and all hell kind of happens, and we then are introduced to this card here. Now there's a lot of stuff that happens before actually this point in time of him doing the Vegeta stance, the fighting stance, which is awesome. And I hope Dokkan Battle comes out with more of the cards that kind of is the missing pieces here. And of course we would hope that they would come out with a card showing him crushing the scouter, saying it's over 9,000. That's a famous moment of Vegeta's history there. And also another famous part is when Raditz gets crushed by Goku and his Kaioken move. The hurt Nappa. Did I say Raditz? Nappa, I meant when Nappa gets crushed by the Kaioken of Goku. Vegeta then kind of betrays Nappa, or I won't say kinda, does betray Nappa and kills him, showing his very vicious attitude toward weak individuals. And since Nappa was weak, he ended up killing him, and then begins this now really epic fight between Goku and Vegeta, which this is the beginning stance, and as you can see there, the picture from the manga, and also the stances in the anime as well. This is one of my favorite cards, and he ends up actually Dokkan awakening to this one here, which is great as well. So they both look amazing. The card art there, I'm actually prefaced to the non-Dokkan awaken, the one to the left, because of the stance is so epic on that end. So now I want you guys to of course, well actually before that, we'll talk a little bit about the fight in itself, and that's the first fight of Vegeta and Goku and the epicness of this battle. And it really began the Dragon Ball Z hype, because I remember watching this and going, wow, this is amazing. And we also see how strong Vegeta actually is, because Goku's been training with King Kai, doing all this, and Goku's having really tough problems. But then also Vegeta's very surprised that, of course, the low-level Saiyan of Goku is so powerful, and he is this Super Saiyan elite, the high-class individual. So this really starts his first layer of character development, in which he is the villain and he's murderous. He kills Nappa, but now he has this bravado about him of this his uppity, hey, I'm so powerful kind of thing. But he's now being humbled by Goku a little bit during this. So there's not really too many cards that represents this fight. But now actually we go into the most epic part of the fight, and that's this scene right here, where Goku and Vegeta clash in beams in the Kamehameha and Vegeta's Gatling Gun. And this is amazing. This is one of my favorite scenes, and the one on the bottom is from a video game, so I know that's not from the anime, but it's still showing this epic moment. Now, I want you to look at this Dokkan card to the left, right? So the art here, there is some major issues with this art. Now, I never noticed it until kind of making this video going, hey, wait a minute. This isn't the correct representation. Now, actually, I'll click on to the next one here. There's not a correct representation of this moment. So I'm going to show you. So on the comments below, tell me what you think is wrong with this card and in the moment here. I don't know if you've noticed it quite yet, but if you have, comment below. You can pause the video, write in that comment, and see if you get it right, because I'm going to tell you right now in this moment. And you actually can get a clue right here when I flip over to this screen here. And so this, of course, is this Dokkan card is representing this moment here when he's charging up for the Gatling Gun. But now you can probably see the difference. The biggest difference, number one, there's really two differences. So can you spot both differences? Number one is the armor. Armor is incorrect. Vegeta, when he arrives in the Saiyan Saga, he does not have the armor with the non-shoulder pads and the non-hip pads. He has the hip pad and the shoulder pad on the when he's charging up for the Gatling Gun at this point in time. Another big mishap on the person who drew this art here is he doesn't have his tail wrapped around him, which you will find in most of the cards that represent at this point in time in the timeline. He has a tail wrapped around his waist. So whoever did this card really failed to either revisit or did it on purpose, or I think they did it on purpose on here, because it's not correct on here. So tell me what you guys think it is. You think it's from a different time? It could be from a different time, but not how it's really drawn and how it's being presented here. And this is the Gatling Gun from the Saiyan Saga. The pose and everything is right on. So it's just missing the correct armor, as you can see here. But anyway, so that's what's missing there. So that's a big error on their part. And but here is this part of the timeline where he fires the Gatling Gun, the Kamehameha. Goku goes Kaioken times 4, blast Vegeta, and Vegeta's like, what the heck? Why is he this strong? Okay, now let's get serious here. And now we're gonna transition into this part of the story where Vegeta's all pissed off and saying, you don't even know what you did with having no tail. And I'm gonna show you the real power of a Saiyan. And he uses this false moonlight, this orb here, and he throws it in the air and becomes Ozaru and the giant ape, the Great Ape. But this one here is kind of a little bit off on the time frame, and I think they just did this as just a homage art more so that you could probably put this card a little bit before this spot here. But then he Dokkan awakens correctly. So the reason why this is off of the spot is he has a scouter on still, and his armor is pristine. But he Dokkan awakens into right here, which comes exactly from the art where he throws the moon, he punches up in the air, going, you know, and Goku's like, what's going on? And he transforms into the Great Ape and starts to wreck everything and crushes Goku. Goku's body's now thrashed at this point in time, and this is a moment to show the superiority of Vegeta at this point in time, and he is just destroying anything in his path, and he actually has full control over during this transformation. So unfortunately, at this point in time in Dokkan Battle, they don't have any other cards that represents the rest of the Saiyan Saga, which there's a lot of stuff that happens right after this moment. So we'll cover this real quick using this card art here. And the first moment really is when Yajirobe cuts off the tail and Vegeta transforms back to normal, and then has to battle Gohan in the Great Ape giant form there. The next issue then is him getting hit by the Spirit Bomb and getting rebound, and this is when Vegeta is just thrashed. He is hurt. And then of course Gohan, in a sense, lands on him as well, and he is thrashed at this point in time. Vegeta is really in dire straits. Krillin picks up Yajirobe's sword and says, you know, I'm gonna end this and kill him. But of course, Goku being Goku, he's like, man, this guy's a strong fighter. let's keep him alive. He's learned his lesson, kind of thing. Of course, Vegeta did not. In the next saga, you'll kind of see that. But this is actually another layer of Vegeta's story and how he grows, because he was spared by a lower class Saiyan, and he's also beaten by these the Z fighters, which were nowhere near his power level, but as a group had defeated him, and he had to retreat in the pod, and Krillin couldn't believe that Goku wanted him to survive, and lets him go. So this here, in my opinion, the Saiyan Saga is such a great saga in the Dragon Ball Z universe, and really kicks off to the rest of the storyline here. So that of course leads us to the Frieza Saga, or other people call it the Namek Saga. And the reason why I'm going to actually do this really quick here, even though the video is kind of running a little bit long, is that there's only 2 cards in the saga from Dokkan Battle. And Dokkan Battle fans, you might be saying, what? Really? Yeah. Once again, it was a big surprise for me that 2 and only 2 cards are represented here. And really, I think there might be an error on one of them as well. And that's these 2 cards. And the Dirty Fireworks one and Vegeta. This kind of looks like he's firing multiple blasts, but this could also be when he's doing when he's fighting Raccoon. But as you can see on the shoulder of the right hand one, there might be a little gold strap around it, which then it wouldn't be in this timeline. I'll tell you why in a bit. But as you can see, Vegeta's on Namek in the background over there on the left hand one, and I love that card art. That card art, the Dirty Fireworks one, is really great, and that's representative of a lot of different things that happen in the Frieza Saga, which we'll cover in a second. But having only 2 cards in this saga irks me a little bit, going, hey, wait a minute, this saga deserves a lot more, because the growth of Vegeta in this saga is tremendous. He goes from bad guy to good guy, in a sense, to to really help Krillin and to be against Frieza, which is he becomes a villain. He's a villain, but there's a more dangerous villain, a higher villain, and then he grows from there. So it's amazing. So what's missing here? There's a ton of stuff that happens. So there's a bunch of art here that I just pulled up from Google. So the first one on the top left is really showing the battle between him and Zarbon. But you know, when Vegeta escapes from Earth and gets healed again, he gets a Zenkai boost. You learn about the Zenkai boost, and Saiyans getting more powerful as they fight, and they receive damage and heal. So he beats Dodoria, he beats Kui, and pretty much loses to Zarbon, but then gets a Zenkai boost and actually beats Zarbon. And so hopefully they'll have something maybe with that blue stuff on his fist, you know, that punch to Zarbon there, and there's a lot of really great moments in that portion there, and that's when he has the shoulder pad and the one that's broken off there. He also kind of tricks Frieza, and he's also gathering the Dragon Balls. He wants to be wished immortal, and there's a lot of great items there. So hopefully maybe Dokkan creates a Dragon Ball or Dokkan card that has him holding a Dragon Ball. There's also kind of the last time you see him with the shoulder pad armor is when he's fighting Raccoon, and he gets thrashed. He gets just totally destroyed there, and then he has to go heal up, and he gets to have an opportunity to fight Ginyu. Now, what you'll see here with Ginyu, and also with Vegeta, is his armor and what he looks like. And that's the reason why I say that in this timeline the Dokkan cards aren't available, because there's no cards with that armor without the gold strap there. So that's one of the key things that I just noticed, that hey, and the other card, the one to the right, kind of has a gold strap. You kind of see it on there, so it might not be part of this. But look at all the things that happen. You know, he's fighting Ginyu. He's fighting first form Frieza, second form Frieza. He gets thrashed by final form Frieza, right? And that battle is incredible, right? And hopefully those cards get to come out. with that armor, look. And of course he dies. This is the second time, or this is the first time he dies, when he's 30 years old. We kind of talked about that in that wiki information. And this was a very emotional, one of the first emotional pieces of Vegeta's history, and talks about him he knowing that Frieza destroyed planet Vegeta, destroyed his people, and Goku, you are a Saiyan, you have to avenge our people. And he died really in honor of battle and in cold blood right here, with Frieza just blasting him right through the heart. And was great. He showed a lot of humility and passion toward his people, being the Prince of all Saiyans there. But he is also resurrected. So with the whole Purunga wishes and everything there, Vegeta does come back alive. And this is actually the bottom right picture there. You'll see that that's when he actually sees Goku attaining Super Saiyan, and Vegeta was, and this whole Frieza saga was all about him trying to attain Super Saiyan. But it was Goku who actually achieved it on here. But this scene is actually great because he was going to blast Frieza, and he disappears because the wish sent everybody off of Namek except for Frieza and Goku. So that would be a perfect art if a Dokkan, if Bandai Namco, if you guys are watching this, you can have that art as a card. That would be a great card to have, because that's a great moment in Dragon Ball history, especially in Vegeta history. So so kind of with that is, hey, we would love to have more of the non-gold strapped Vegeta as some cards. So hopefully you guys get to come out with those. So that is really concludes. That actually concludes this part of the history of Vegeta with using Dokkan cards. The reason why I'm cutting it short, because it's already pretty long, but then I have a lot of sagas to go through, and there's a lot of cards to also go through as well. So hopefully you enjoy this video, and hopefully you enjoy kind of how I'm doing this chronological order using the Dokkan cards. If you like what you see, please subscribe, like, and comment. I'd love to hear what you guys think about this, and catch you guys in part 2. There should be on the link there and a link below, and we'll see you in a bit. Keep on Dokkaning, guys. Bye.